All parties in the matter of Branham versus Benjamin, step forward, please.
20-year-old Ashley Branham is suing her ex-boyfriend, 23-year-old Jeremy Benjamin, for a cell phone bill she paid on his behalf. Jeremy says Ashley prematurely paid a bill that he was disputing.
Miss Branham, this tall drink of water over here used to be your boyfriend.
Yes.
And you were foolish enough to get him a cell phone.
Yes.
A cell phone with a bill in your name.
Yes.
And you did that, according to you, and really not disputed by Mr. Benjamin, so that you could converse with each other.
Yes.
And with the promise that he was going to take care of the bill.
Yes.
Well, he didn't exactly do that. And according to you, within the first couple of months that he had the phone, and it was one of those fancy phones. What do they call it, Mr. Benjamin?
BlackBerry.
BlackBerry.
Yes, ma'am.
He kept trading in the BlackBerry. And by the time he left for Europe to play basketball, which he does professionally or semi-professionally?
Professionally.
Professionally. He had racked up a bill of close to $1,700. And then you cut off the phone.
Yes.
So you had charges for cutting off the phone because there's an early termination fee?
Yes.
See, I don't do those things really well, but I heard all of this before. Because believe it or not, there are other foolish young ladies who've been standing right where you've been standing, who did the same dumb thing that you did. They are supposed to buy you presents. You get it? Right?
Correct.
They're supposed to bring flowers and candy and jewelry and all that kind of stuff. They're supposed to woo you. That's the way the Creator made it. Not the other way around. Because usually they're not that great a bargain.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Ashley Branham says ex-boyfriend Jeremy Benjamin owes for a $1,700 cell phone bill.
Now, are you the bargain exception? Because you're going to tell me, because I want to hear it from your own mouth, Mr. Benjamin, because you look like a decent enough young man. She paid the bill because her mother said to her,
I don't want your credit to be bad.
and I assume that the reason she got the phone in the first place is because you didn't have credit.
Something like that.
Well, I assume if you could have gotten it for yourself, you would have gotten it for yourself, right?
Oh, yeah, I was told never to, not take gifts, If she offers, I'm not going to say no.
You were told what? I'd like you to keep your voice up. I want to
Oh,
hear
you
that.
can't hear me. I'm sorry. I said my mother told me never to, not accept gifts, if
Your
she
mother
said
always told you to accept a gift.
Of course.
I'm getting to like you less and less, Mr. Benjamin.
Sorry about that.
I knew that it was just a slip. So, why isn't this bill your responsibility?
Because actually, the phones were actually replacement phones. I wasn't upgrading the phones. The phone that I received was a defective phone. So the actual reason why I had to keep sending the phones back because they kept sending me refurbished phones.
Did you tell her that?
Yes, I did. Actually, I did.
Yes, and?
Call her and explain it to her. I called her and I said, Ashley, these phones, I'm having a problem with these phones. I'm going to send them back. So what they do is they send you a phone and they send you a box. You put the broken phone in the box, you put the label on top, and you send it away. So I did that about 3 times. And they tell you before, if we don't receive the phones, we're going to charge you $400 per phone that is missing.
I assume you have all the receipts.
Well, actually, they just have a label that you just pull off the sticky thing and you put it in a box. And you can put it in any UPS. But T-Mobile itself had the actual the
Got it. I got it,
numbers.
Mr. Benjamin.
Okay. So going along with the time and everything that we were together or whatever, I was going through graduation, contracts for basketball, trying to take care of everything I had to take care of. And I explained to Ms. Brenham that I was putting in a claim for the money that I owed, and it was going to take almost a month for the claim to actually go through T-Mobile. They're not just going to give me the money back without finding the phones. Okay, cool. So I get a call about 2 weeks from that time saying, hey, my mother closed the account, she paid the bill, you owe $1,700.
Well, a lot of that was for phone calls, too.
Well, the voice plan, I think, was about between $300 and $400 out of that $1,700.
Well, did you pay that part of it?
I paid $200 prior before that.
Why didn't you pay all of it?
I have no clue why I didn't pay it all.
You didn't pay any of it. According to you, your mother gave her $200 because she was complaining.
Well,
to your
no,
mother.
not actually. I sent the money to my mother because I was out of the country at the time. I couldn't send a check from out of the country.
Okay, but you only sent her a little part of it.
Of course, yes.
What do you mean, of course?
Well, we made an agreement that, you know, I would pay $200 a month just because, you know, I don't know.
Who did you make the agreement with?
Her mother.
Her mother.
Yes.
But it's her credit.
I don't know. I
Look,
guess she just took
Mr.
over.
Benjamin, I read your answer, and what your answer put succinctly is, you went to Germany for how long?
I was in Germany for 4 months.
Working.
Yeah, this is a job.
Did you have a cell phone, by the way, while you were there?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Ah, that's the question that you didn't answer here in your answer, Mr. Benjamin.
Right.
Don't look down there.
Right.
Okay. She had turned off the cell phone. Your cell phone connection to her was over
Right.
when you went to Germany.
Correct.
How'd you get a cell phone in Germany that had a chip that allows you to call the United States? That's a fancy phone. How did you get that? No. Don't think about it. Just give me the truth.
Yes, my mother. My mother got it for me out of the kindness of her heart.
Well, that's your mother's problem, because according to you, your mom says you always take a gift, never turn down a gift, right? So, Mr. Benjamin, this is what you have to do, sir. You've got a beef with T-Mobile, right?
Yes, I do.
You don't have beef with her.
I know. Well,
But
actually,
she paid the bill. Do you understand? So you have to get on the phone with T-Mobile, start writing letters to T-Mobile, all of that stuff, and say, listen, you were paid.
Right.
But you were supposed to get back to me with regard to the phones that I said I sent back to you.
but the problem is that the phone was in her name, so I can't call and say,
Sure you can. She's going to call and she's going to give you, you can do whatever you want, because you owe her $1,700.
right, but they're not going to pay me the $1,700 for
They're
the...
going to give it to her.
How can they do that when she paid?
No, listen to me. Listen to me. If you are successful,
Okay.
then she will give you a letter saying you can take all the money, because you're going to give it to her.
Right.
Because you used the phone, you got the new Blackberries whenever they sent you back one of the refurbished ones, which, by the way, I really don't understand. If you buy a new phone, if it turns out to be a dud, why don't you get a new phone rather than a refurbished one? I send that out over the airwaves to T-Mobile and everybody else.
Right.
It's your problem, not her problem. You deal with it. You should have dealt with it before you went to Germany. You should have dealt with it from Germany.
Well, I actually tried, and the thing that I asked her not to do was to close the account.
Well, she had to do that. They were going to ruin her credit, sir. They can't wait
It was
for
still
you.
active. I was still using the phone.
They can't wait for you to pay this bill. The bill was outstanding, more than the $200 you sent to your mother.
Right.